Hey guys, me Dave. It's 9/25/2020 Friday night. So I'm sitting here having a couple cocktails, trying to relax and stuff. I got hit a little bit today. They were hitting me with microwaves, to the head. Um, they were doing it just enough to make a difference. Where it was noticeable. You know what I mean? So I woke up really early and all that stuff, and went back to bed. They wouldn't let it happen. And every day, same old thing. They won't let me get back to bed and all this stuff. So, I took Tanner to the park and stuff earlier today, and I wired my muffler up on my van, and it broke. So we're at the park, and we're walking up the grass or whatever, and then we come back and all this stuff, and it went down, and here I see my exhaust. It's like hanging from my van. So now I gotta try to figure something else out. That wire didn't work. It just broke. So it's always, it's something, all the time. You're dealing with your torture, and then you gotta deal with real life crap. Like vehicle maintenance and vehicles breaking down and vet bills, and you know what I mean. Life still goes on. You're being tortured and all this stuff every single day. And then you have to deal with real life crap every single day. You have to cook supper, feed your pets, take them out to the park, you have to deal with paying bills. You have all this stuff you have to do, and then you're dealing with the targeting on top of it. That's how strong we are. If this is why it's so unbelievable. They make this program unbelievable, so nobody will believe you. And we're walking around. We're walking around normal. We don't complain. We're not having outbursts. We're not doing anything. We're calm. We're polite when we deal with people, when we're out in public. We're calm. We're polite. We're very nice people. Like, oh yeah, thank you very much. By the way, I'm being microwaved to the head, but I'm not going to tell you that. You know what I mean? It's like we are the strongest people in the world. I swear to God, we are the strongest people in the world. It's really unreal what we go through on a daily basis of this program. We are super strong people. And we have to deal with all our regular stuff. Paying bills and cooking supper and feeding your dogs, going to the park, and all this stuff you have to deal with. Go to the grocery store. It's you deal with all this stuff, and despite the targeting, you're still being targeted. And they want your mind on the targeting all the time. They want you thinking about it all the time. And these guys, they have these guys sit there 24 hours a day, and they think about bad things to do to you. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna come up with a protocol? And I'm really I really wonder if these guys that I have go by a protocol, because if something happens to me where I'll have a good day, and then my muffler will break, my van will break down or something, and then they'll hit me. They'll take advantage of that moment, and they will turn my life upside down. So I don't think they're actually following a strict protocol. Because if something happens to me in real life, these guys will take advantage of that, and they'll hit me. Or they will do subliminals, and they'll do all this stuff, and and make my day even worse than it already is. So if I'm having a good day and I go for a ride, or van breaks down, all this stuff, boom, they'll hit me, and they will make it 10 times worse than it really is. So we have to deal with these guys 24/7. They're, you may be able to forget about them for a little bit, but they will do something to put you on track to think about these people all the time. They want you thinking about them all the time. So if you, are able to forget about them for a little bit, they'll do something to, bring you back. Hey, we'll bring you back here. You forgot about us for a second there. We got to bring you back and make your life miserable. Who does this? I don't know. Psychopaths, sociopaths. They sit there 24/7 and think about bad things to do to an innocent person in his house. It really is unreal. They're addicted to this. They can't look away. I personally think they're looking at screens, computer monitors, and they can't look away. They can't look away at all. They're addicted. It's like watching a movie where you don't know what's going to happen. Because they can make you angry, they can make you depressed, they can make you tired. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he going to take a nap? Because we're making him tired. Is he going to, what's his next move? And stuff. It really is unreal. And this is why if we tell people that are non-targets, they don't believe us. Because what we are going through is just unreal. It's unreal. Nobody would believe it. How are you functioning going through all this stuff? Well, we must be the strongest people in the world because we have to move on and function. Some days you don't function. Some days you don't get out of bed. And you just lay there and you want to sleep. Sleep it off. Because you're being hit so hard. So some days we don't make it. We have to take a break. So it's really unreal. We are very special people. And I think we are very special people. And we're strong as hell. I'll tell you that right now. We're strong as hell, and we're going through this for years. We're not being tortured for an hour and then they stop for the day. We're being tortured 24/7 for years. For years. It's. I'm coming up on 7 years. It'll be like 7 years in March, I think, or somewhere around there, February, March. It'll be coming up on 7 years. And I was thinking about my program today. I was thinking, when I look back on it, I've been in the program since I was a kid. I really have. I honestly have. It was because of my dad and all this stuff. He was in the Air Force and all this stuff. We had an air base up here when I was a little kid. And we would go up there for medical care, medical appointments, and all this stuff. Because we could, my dad was in the Air Force, and we could, they would treat our family because he was in the Air Force. So if we had to see the doctor, we'd go up to the air base up there, and stuff. They had everything up there. So that's how I got involved. Ever since I was yay big, and but when I really started to notice, somebody said, Dr. Duncan or somebody said that, when you have a good handler. Okay, this is before the trauma base in the silent mode. When you have a good handler when you can't tell anything that's going on. You can't tell anything that's going on. And they did that to me until 2012. Things started to fall apart. But I was working a couple jobs and all this stuff. I had 2 jobs in 2006, 7, and 8, all the way till 2011. I was working a lot. I had jobs that I loved. I was dating and, had a house and all this stuff. I was doing really good and, all this stuff. And then, but I look back now, I realized they were hitting me back in 2005, in 2006. I didn't pick up on it. You know, they were doing it so I wouldn't notice anything, but they're doing, doing all kinds of things. I was even being gang stalked a little bit back then, and that was, 14, 15 years ago, it started to come out. I had no idea. I didn't know what it was. Like I say, what was I, 13, 14? I had work crew because I was driving my motorcycle on the street, and I got my motorcycle taken away by the cops, and I had work crew, and we would go down and wash sheriff's cars. They had a kid. I was 13, 14 years old. I was in 7th or 8th grade. I can't remember. They had a kid there that knew everything about me. He knew everything about he was mentioning my brother. He was mentioning my brother's girlfriend, which is now his wife. So he was mentioning my sister-in-law. He was mentioning my sister-in-law's brother, who I was good friends with. He was the same age I am, so we were good friends. Went to school together and all this stuff. He was talking about my life like nothing. 13, 14 years old. He was there one day, never seen him again. So I'm 47, right now. So that was street theater or gang stalking over 30 years ago. Like what, 33 years ago? They had this stuff was going on. So when I look back at my life, they were setting me up with gang stalkers. They probably weren't called gang stalkers back then, but they were setting me up with scenarios, to provoke me, back in 05, I was going to work one time, and I pulled out, and the guy behind me was getting super upset at me. He acted like he wanted to fight. He was following me and all this stuff, and then he turned down a road, and he kept on pressing his brake like he was going to get out of his car and do something. This is back in 05 when I was going to work because I was working night shift. He acted like I cut him off or something. Is it them? I don't know. I can't say that's them for sure, but I wouldn't doubt it. This stuff has been going on for 35, 40 years. It's unreal. It really is. This has been going on forever, and, they had street theater 35 years ago, It's unreal. They would do it they wouldn't do it very much, but, they would do it here and there, where I could think, wow, this has really been going on forever, it's when I was 13, 14, So there's, it's not a coincidence when things happen on a repetitive thing, where it's repetitive and stuff. It's unreal. I look back in 2005. They were watching me go to work and all this stuff. I'm not gonna mention it now, but I was training in some girls back in 2005 at my job, and one of the girls was talking about sex all the time. She was talking about all kinds of sexual things and all this stuff. And was that them? I don't know. Was she a plant? Could have been back in 05. I don't know. To get reactions on me and all this stuff. I don't know. Could have been. I've had some weird experiences in my life. Was it them? I have no idea. I remember going to the drugstore buying a soda. We had a drugstore up here, a neighborhood drugstore, Rexall's, and I remember going up there, and I was probably 14. I remember seeing grown women, beautiful, gorgeous, wearing Daisy Duke shorts, you know, when I was 14 years old. Was that them? It could have been. Get reactions out of me? I don't know. Was it them? You know, it makes you think, you know, like, wow, that could have been them. When I had an apartment, I was living in an apartment building in 06 or 07. They had a couple out there fighting. You know, was that them, or were they really fighting? You know, is it street theater, or was it was it real? You know, it really makes you think. You really don't know. You know, all you can do is make assumptions and all this stuff. It's really amazing when you look back on how long they were doing this to us. You know, who did it? You know, who was doing this to us in the silent mode? Was it the CIA? Was it the contractors? Was it the contractors doing it? And then what? You know, Dr. Duncan said when you go on trauma-based mind control, they don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about you, but all these agencies know everything about you. You know, and apparently these handlers and everything get scored on the information that they gather from you. You know, or they torture you, and they're being scored on how much, you know, how bad the torture is, what kind of uh, reactions or whatever they get out of you, you know. So we'll torture them for 30 minutes. What are we going to get from that? You know, and they get scored on that. You know, so who was doing it to us in the silent mode? Was it the contractors? And now they're hiring thugs, subcontractors to, you know, do this? You know, who's doing it now? They don't know anything about me. They didn't even know my age until a couple of years ago. You know? So it's really amazing, you know, when you put the pieces together, on how long this has been going on for us. I think a lot of us have been in the program since we were a kid. If you're a real TI, and getting the weapons and gang stalking, I think a lot of us have been in this since we were a kid. You know, we have to look back and put the pieces together, and it's possible, totally possible, that we were, a lot of us were in this since we were a kid. You know, my connection is through the Air Force with my dad. He didn't leave on good terms. So I blame him. I totally blame him for me being in this program. You know, he left on bad terms. He got an honorable discharge, but he left on bad terms. So what were they saying? We're going to take your firstborn son and do this to him, you know, experiment on him. You know, it really is unreal, you know, how we got into this program. It really is. You have to look at connections and all kinds of different things to try to figure it out. We don't know for sure, but you know, it's unreal. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this off. They're getting more braver and braver and braver. You know, get more balls. They hit me a little more today. Are they gonna hit me more and more and more and more until I call for help? Are we gonna go through this every other week to where I'm gonna call for help? You know, are we gonna do this? Or is somebody gonna put them in their place and tell them to knock it off? You know, because you're an idiot. Knock it off because you're an idiot. The perps. You know. So, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, they get more abusive every single day. It's something they do. They can't handle this crap. They shouldn't be even around these weapons because they can't handle it. They're addicted to this, and they want to hurt you. They want to hurt innocent people. You know, and they're cowards. You know, they would never do this to a big bad biker. You know, a big bad biker would smash their face into the ground. They would never do it to them. You know, these guys are cowards, and they really are cowards, and they feel tough when they got 20 perps on you. Then they feel tough. You know, so whoever's doing this to me is a big fat coward, and you can tell. He gets braver when all the perps are around and all this stuff. He gets braver. Makes him feel powerful, more powerful. But he's a moron. So useful idiot. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this off. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll talk to you again, soon. And I hope you guys staying safe and stuff. And I'll talk to you later.